first of all, thank you for being here with us. It's an honor.
Pleasure.
It's an honor to have you here. Uh, when I saw the answer, I didn't expect that you you want to answer my message. So it's yeah, to have a such a legend with me here is an honor. So we are here in Spain. You have been so many times here.
Many times.
Do you like Spain? Do you like some cities from here?
Love it.
Barcelona, Madrid.
Fantastic. I just got some Iberian ham that I ordered online from come from Spain,
Mm-hmm.
and just delicious, very good. Spanish wine I love. I started my first time there was 1983
Uh-huh.
with UFO.
Okay. What it was the first time? Okay. Okay. And I saw you last time. I think is like 2 years ago with Mr. Big here in Barcelona. Was a fantastic concert. The first time that I saw Mr. Big, I was listening Mr. Big from I think I was 15 or 16 years old, and
Yeah.
the first time. And but I saw you in Pamplona with Steve Bay also like 25 years ago, with Eric Sardinas, and you were
Oh yeah.
you were supporting with Tony McAlpine and Billy Donati, and it was also fantastic. There are so many years playing, so I wanted to know about how it's to play over the decades and how it changes from the 80s, 70s to till now that you play in different stages with different bands, but you are the same or you have changed over the years.
It changed a lot over the years. Right now, I'm practicing more than ever,
Oh.
learning so many more new things than ever before. So I have some time at home,
Mm-hmm.
and I've I've spent hours yesterday working on a new way of playing on the neck and refining my right hand. And so ever since I began, uh, change is the only thing that remains the same. It's always changing.
Okay.
And through the years, you learn so many things, it's hard to remember them all. So even the things that I've forgotten, I go back and try to recover them and remember them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always an adventure, and there's always so much more to learn. And it's music really is an incredible thing to be involved in.
No.
Quite nice.
So you're still keeping searching new ways to play the bass or new techniques or something like this, or trying to learn from new bass players from younger players.
Well, yeah, I'm always coming up with something new, and I have my phone
Yeah.
with me. So I set it down, put it on selfie video, and I show the new thing
Uh-huh.
and try to play it correctly. And then I get done, and a few minutes later, I have another new thing, and I put that in. So I have hundreds and hundreds of ideas, not only song ideas or musical ideas,
Mm-hmm.
but also ideas about how I'm using my right hand, my left hand, the patterns I'm using, the rhythms I'm using. So it's always every day every day there's something brand new that I never did before. Every single day. And so years ago, I had a young musician email me and said, I've been playing for 6 months and I'm bored. What should I do?
Oh.
And I told him, quit. It's not for you. I've been playing for 40 years. Well, now I've been playing for, geez, about 55 years.
Well.
No, more than that. Over 60 years I've been playing. And I'm not bored at all. I'm excited. So if you've only been playing for 6 months and you're bored,
Yeah. Yeah.
music isn't for you.
It's not for you. Yeah. Yeah. You will still learning for all your life. Yeah. And so you had the opportunity to play with other great bass players. You take them like techniques, different techniques, or something like this that you see or playing with them and see like I need this for me on my vocabulary or something like this.
Sometimes, but I listen to all musicians. Uh, Bass is a musical instrument, but you can play anything on it. You can play melodies on it. You can play things similar to piano, similar to cello or violin or saxophone. I don't. Notes are notes, and you can play them on any
Yeah.
instrument. So many times, my inspiration comes from uh, non-bass players
Mm-hmm.
because it's different. So I learn like a piano piece or a saxophone solo,
Okay.
something like that. And it's good because it breaks you out of the normal thing. Bass players learning from bass players who learn from other bass players who learn from
Okay.
the bass players before them. We're kind of always in the same thing.
Yeah.
And then when somebody comes along and learns something different, like Jocko, he
Yeah.
started playing some sax
Yeah.
parts
Like
on
Vivo.
bass, and the whole world thought it was
Yeah.
amazing, and it was. But it's that simple. Just look at something else for a minute.
Okay.
Uh, a harp, the big
Okay.
harp.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of techniques for your fingers on a harp. Why not use some for bass? It's different.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Flamenco guitar, much different. A lot of slapping and playing on bass. Now, a lot of it came from that. So when you hear something a little bit different
Uh-huh.
and adapt it, I think bass players just listening to bass players uh, is a good thing, but you can get lost in that.
Okay.
And I think you should, listen to vocalists, uh,
Yeah. From.
chordal instruments,
Mm-hmm.
many different things.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. That's just my idea for me. And everybody's different. Some people that might not work at all. They just should stick only to bass and bass players and become incredible players. But for me, I like to look around and find I've found so many great things that I've adapted to bass from other instruments. It's been
Okay.
a big help to me. Yeah.
And sometimes do you take other instruments, you play other instruments to get new ideas from, I don't know, you play guitar also, and I don't know if the
Yeah,
piano.
I play.
Mhm.
I play guitar mostly to write.
Yeah.
It's easier to sing and play chords
Mhm.
than on a bass. Bass is difficult sometimes.
Mhm.
uh, so when I'm writing, like I have a baritone,
Okay.
guitar, so it's tuned down really. So an E chord is actually in the key of B,
B. Yep.
lower. So
Yep.
when you play it, it's a different pitch than a normal guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of inspiring sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I play drums also, and I'm a big drumming fan. Uh, I love drummers and drums because that's what I watch when I play in a band. So I would try to learn everything I can about how a drummer plays, how his feel is, what his timing is like. I've been lucky to play with great, great drummers. Dennis Chambers, probably the greatest I've ever played with. And just watching him, I learned so much just watching him, being on stage with him and watching him play. Effortless, brilliant timing, and just so great. It helped my bass playing a lot by my time with Dennis. I hope to be playing with him more again in the future.
Okay. And when you were playing, for example, new songs, your new songs, uh, you try to play all the instruments and see how it works, or you usually go with a guitar with bass and you add a new players with you.
Well, I prefer, well, if I'm writing a song, I'll do all the parts.
Hmm.
But to play, I want to hear a great guitar player and a great drummer and a great singer,
Yeah.
or a unique. Doesn't have to be, unique. Sometimes is great too. They don't have to be fast
Mhm.
a million chords, but they have a cool way of approaching the instrument, So I'm I like to play in a band. I've never been really a solo artist.
Yeah.
For me, a band is, 3 or 4 or 5 people with ideas, sharing and looking at each other and watching.
Hmm.
And some of my favorite music came from bands,
Yeah.
from the Beatles and the Stones and Van Halen and AC/DC.
Yeah.
Bands I like a lot. So I listen to the ensemble playing of a group. So when I'm doing it, I want the guitar player to have his own ideas.
Yeah.
So, okay, here's the key. What are you going to do? Oh, I'll do this. Oh, that's cool. Good idea. Drummers, give me a beat. How about this? Cool. Because I can't always think like a drummer, so I depend on a drummer or a singer or a guitar player to play and sing
Mhm.
the way they should. Then, when you're in a band, allowing people to do what they do without telling them what to do always is a better atmosphere in the band.
Yeah.
I think it's letting people do their thing.
So, if you can give an advice to a younger people that they start playing now a band, because the time has changes a lot, and now I think it's different than the old times. Um, which one? Which advice gonna give them? For example, three
3 things.
three things. Okay.
Get in a band. Sitting around on YouTube, that's cool, but that's not the real world.
Yeah.
Get in a band. You learn so much by being in a band. How do you explain your idea to another musician? You ask him what to do. I want the guitar to sound more
Yeah.
what? I don't know how to explain it because I never had a guitar player before. So, working with people in a band will teach you many skills: how to explain your music, how to understand someone else's music, and please them by doing what they want to hear. So you got to dig into yourself and find something that they're going to love.
Hmm.
So that process is a good skill to learn. Being in a band also teaches you a lot about politics and diplomacy and how to deal with something. I don't like that part he's doing. What should I do? Oh, it's horrible. I hate it. Don't do it. Bad. So, could we try another thing in that part? Maybe a little different. Oh, okay. Diplomacy, friendly, get along with people,
Yeah.
understand things. When you're in a band, that's essential because you can have all kinds of hits and be successful. Somebody gets in an argument, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's over. So, being in a band, number one, being in a band with songs. You got to have songs. The most amazing playing in the world.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with it? It's got to be in a song. Most of my bass playing is just I'm playing holding a time in a. It's part of a song.
Okay.
I can do.
Yeah.
And the audience will sit there like, "What is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get it." Play songs. They got to be songs. You have to, if you want to do some fancy stuff, great, but figure out how it goes in a song.
Yeah.
It's got to fit in.
Hmm.
So much of Mr. Big, Alive and Kicking. The bass is. Now we got a part in it. So you can put
Yeah.
things in later. They got to fit the song. They got to be in the key of the song. They got to be in the mood and style of the song. but you got to get in a band with songs.
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing, you got to get in a band with songs that you sing.
Okay.
Vocals. You can play instrumental music. Some people are successful at it, but the percentage
Yeah, it's much more. Yeah.
microscopic. And to be a solo guitarist now, there are hundreds of them out there
Mm-hmm.
playing their solo guitar pieces, and they're very good, and they're very competent, and they're very skillful. But
Yeah.
you want to play to a lot of people, he's got to sing. You got to sing. People will tell me, "Hey, I know I had heard this new guitar player. He's amazing." I go, "Really?
Yeah.
He's the most incredible guitar player you've ever heard. He plays this amazing stuff. Really? Tell me more." "Oh, he just plays so great and it's fantastic and everybody loves
Yeah.
him." Wow. You should have him in your band. Well, maybe I will. Does he sing? No.
No. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, and it's what I started out in a 3-piece band and everybody sang. We sang harmonies. We all sang lead vocal. I did the fewer of the lead vocal, thank goodness. But we all, it was always harmony, and people would be out there. We always had a huge crowd. We always had a lot of people come see us play because they could sing. They heard the songs, they could
Yeah.
sing. So if you run the numbers of how many successful musicians did those 3 things. Okay, let's just do bass players.
Yeah.
How many successful bass players were in a band? We're in a band with songs.
Okay.
What do you think? Okay, Geddy Lee, Chris Squire, John Entwistle, Jack Bruce. You keep going. They're the most successful. Sting.
Sting. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Just the list goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, and that's just bass players. Drummers, guitar players, keyboard players. Very, very important. Get in a band, get in a band with songs, get in a band with songs that you sing. Now your chances will be great. Now you can play solo bass and be amazing.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll be successful. You can also go buy a lottery ticket and maybe you'll win.
Yeah. Maybe you win.
I I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it changes a lot over the decades because the people who plays now is more like to play the instrument technique. I don't know, because so a lot of people on the internet playing so fast, so technique, and it's very nice. But the bands, as we know, like the 80s or 90s, or I think it changed a little bit. Do you know the Do you think that changes all over the decades with bands? So there are no so many bands now that they play, they sing, as you said before.
True. Well, I'm an old man, and that's what I know. And for me, that's been the most successful thing. Times change, things change. Maybe 10 years from now, people will be saying, "You got to be on YouTube. You
Yeah.
got to play the fastest lick you ever did,
Hmm.
and put out a new video every day."
Yeah.
And those will be the 3 most important things.
Yeah.
But for me, running the numbers in popular music since the beginning of popular music, since the beginning of radio, since the very first records, since the very first, since MTV and videos, that has been still the overwhelming most successful thing you can do
Yeah.
in a band with songs and songs that you sing. Now, in fact, there could also be a new thing.
Mhm.
Maybe being on YouTube and playing the fastest licks known to man will be the new thing.
Yeah.
I know people when I go out to a bar and they put on a record of some shred metal, nobody's really listening.
No.
They'll put on Creedence Clearwater
Yeah.
and the whole place.
And yeah,
I was like, so it's still to
that's
this
true.
day. You
That's
know?
true.
So they're the TV shows with for making a star and voice.
Yeah, the boys.
That it's almost always singing.
Yeah,
Singers will win it. I don't know if any bass player ever won it, or guitar player, or drummer, or keyboard player.
yeah,
And again, I'm an old man, so my time may be gone and past, and things may be different. And I have great respect for all the YouTubers that play their amazing instruments so incredibly well. The same way as I had respect for a lot of jazz musicians when I was growing up.
yeah.
So I'd go to see jazz musician. We went out one night to see Elvin Jones,
Hmm.
drummer, great jazz drummer, and in Buffalo, New York, which is a pretty big city. And there were maybe 15 people there
Wow.
see him play. And he's a monster.
Yeah, yeah.
And just because that genre doesn't touch as many people. I love jazz. I listen to jazz a lot. Ray Brown, one of the greatest bassists ever. Miroslav Vitus, Niels Henning Orsted Pedersen, probably the greatest bass player ever.
Hmm.
Completely, all jazz guys, but they're going to play to generally smaller reach. Doesn't mean it's better or worse.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean shitty, awful music that plays to hundreds of thousands of people.
yeah,
It's still shitty, awful music, But it's funny that the more complex music is difficult for most people to understand.
yeah,
I spent a lot of time sitting my friends down there. Okay, sit down. Okay, I'm going to show it. This is it's called The Rite of Spring, and it's by Stravinsky. Let's
yeah.
hear it, and let me explain to you why it's so amazing, because they would have never heard it. And sometimes if you turn people on
Hmm.
to a complex music in the right way, they understand it. But it's work. It's hard work.
Yeah,
Most people would much rather hear simple. Now, AC/DC, one of my favorite bands.
yeah, yeah,
Very simple, but it's so great.
yeah.
So it doesn't have to be complex. I
Hmm.
think the Back in Black record is probably could be considered one of the greatest records of all time.
Yeah, and they put thousands of people in live when they play everywhere. So everywhere in the world. So yeah,
It's not a complex record, but I love it.
yeah.
And that teaches all of us musicians something.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to be complex and fast and perfectly accurate and amazing. You just have to do something that's from your heart to someone else's
Yeah,
heart. Once you get that, you're good.
yeah.
Makes sense?
And I think, yeah, of course. And I think, and you can sing the songs, you can sing the letters, and also you can sing the melodies from the. And I think it's very important. Yeah, also.
And I love a lot. I was a big fan of King Crimson,
Yeah,
Genesis with Peter Gabriel, a huge Frank Zappa fan. That was very complex music sometimes. Chicago, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, jazz rock, complex things, difficult to play, but still good. And I think it's important also for a lot of musicians to have a broad taste, not
hmm,
just listen to one thing.
yeah,
The more you listen, when I
mhm.
go backstage, a heavy metal band, they're playing Frank Sinatra in the dressing room.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
True.
yeah. For me, it's very, very important. I listen to funk, blues, heavy metal. I don't know everything that connects with my feelings. I don't know, with my sense of the music. And you say the people now, for example, is making like more videos, YouTube, and everything, and it's like different era. I don't know if you know, for example, Spanish bass player Vincent Garcia is a very very nice player,
I
and
don't know. There are.
yeah,
It's difficult because there are
he
so many.
I know he plays
Probably
with Yamaha.
great,
He's Yamaha, yeah, artist,
great.
and he's playing over the world now. And he started like playing in his house, making videos, and now he's playing in front of big audience, and he plays with
Uh-huh.
everyone, everything. So I think there is a few people that they have a lot of talent, and now you can show that your talent to the world with the internet from your
It's
house.
great.
So
Yeah,
You have
I'm
both
glad to
over there.
hear.
Mhm.
I like to see musicians become successful no matter what they do, no matter what they do. And like I said, I'm an old man, and I grew up playing in bars and playing live every single night. I've done over 6,000 shows in my life.
Well,
We did three complete shows in one day one time,
well,
morning, afternoon, and night, back in the days. And for me, that was my training, and that's how I learned. And it is a different world now.
yeah,
So, plus the great thing about the internet and YouTube is you can see with your own eyes and hear with your own ears the greatest players ever
yeah,
close.
yeah,
We only had their records. We didn't know where their fingers were. We didn't know anything about it. So we had to use our ears to figure it out because we couldn't see it. But now you can see,
yeah.
Jimi Hendrix this close,
The gear,
Yngwie this close, or
yeah,
Ed Van Halen,
yeah,
or anybody. It's pretty amazing. So it's a good time for musicians because there's so much you can learn, and it's so easy to access it.
yeah.
Uh, so I'm glad about that. What's the name of the bass player you said to me
Vincent Garcia. Vincent Garcia.
again?
Vincent Garcia.
Okay, maybe send me a link and I'll
Yeah, yeah,
get him.
of course. He was playing this year in the Nuno Betancourt band in Las Vegas, I think,
Yeah,
before the NAM. And yeah, it's amazing. He's pretty amazing. Um,
great.
yeah, I'm gonna send you. And when you started playing, as you said, you made by ear, or you got the teacher from the beginning, or you started by yourself, self-taught,
I'm self-taught and all by ear.
all by ear.
But yeah, I don't know any. Here in my studio, we've done over 600 tracks since the pandemic, and some of them that I have to learn are very complex.
Whoa.
I have to learn all by ear. It's a challenge. So sometimes I charge my fee by how complicated
Okay.
a song is. If it's really complicated, it takes me, hours to figure it out by ear. If it's easy, it's much cheaper. But yeah, I only know by ear. I don't really know any theory, and I've never been taught any music. But uh, I know some things that have helped me.
Okay.
And I can generally figure things out. And I've played complex, 7/4, 5/4, 19/8, odd time signatures. I learned about those early on. I played a lot of complex music when I was younger,
Mhm.
so that helps me today. Uh, and even playing a ballad today, it helps to know more
Mhm.
music because you know where you can move to. But yeah, I'm completely self-taught. I wish I knew more, and I always try to learn more. But it's like I speak English. My wife speaks Italian,
Okay.
speaks English also,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know any Italian.
No.
So what I do instead of learning another language, I learn more about English.
Okay.
This way, I understand my language so
Much
much
better.
more
Hmm.
than I can explain myself to someone who doesn't speak English. And I can also hear things in their language
Yeah.
related to English. It helps me to understand them. So it's
Okay.
kind of a parallel to my bass playing. I
Okay.
don't know music, but the more I do it, I can explain and understand.
Hmm.
Similar to how I study English a lot. I work on English quite a bit.
And when you started playing, there was anyone in your family or brothers or father or whatever? No? You started by yourself?
No, my mom was a Frank Sinatra fan, and I learned I love that music now. When I was young, I didn't like it so much because it was the older music.
Okay.
I love it now.
Okay.
And around the corner, I had a friend, Joe. He was a bass player.
Okay.
He didn't sit me down and teach me, but he was the guy who I wanted to be like him because he was a great player and he was my first inspiration. But yeah, I was pretty much on my own, home alone in my room with my little record player, trying to figure out licks and how to play songs. but I used to take a record and play the whole record, all the songs, flip it over, play all the songs, flip
Wow.
it again, play them again, play them again, over and over. So it was always about learning songs. And I would sit down sometimes with the radio on, and the new song would come on, and I'd start to learn it. Now I can't stop and move the
Yeah.
needle, so I got to learn it quickly. So I had to, that helped me a lot to learn. Okay, here comes the second verse. It's probably just like the first verse on bass. So you, so you kind of learn that way too. That was kind of cool. So there's a lot of ways to learn. And I know a lot of young players watching people on the internet. You can see their hands moving, which is a great help.
Yeah.
And they'll also show you and slow things down and show you what their picking hand or plucking is doing. So that's why I think there's so many great players now because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish they would. I want them to be successful, and I don't know if you're going to get successful, like we said earlier, by just playing that.
Yeah.
The three things again: being in a band with
Yeah.
songs,
Songs,
singing.
singing. So you develop your own technique by listening to other bass players or other players. And when you started, you didn't get beautiful. When you started, so you spent so many hours, or it was like
Yes, every day still. Every
okay,
day still.
okay,
Just to keep my right, because your right hand, if you leave it alone even for one day, it starts to go down.
whoa,
And some friends of mine used to say, uh, if you don't practice, the first day you notice it, the second day
they
the
not
audience notices it.
well,
So yeah, I worked hard on a lot of three finger
your technique, yeah,
techniques that and most of it is just to play, when you're in a band something you just got to drum, it's got to drill that
hmm,
quarter notes or eighth notes, and they got to be super even. So I'll sit there sometimes for a long time with a metronome, sometimes too, then go string to string, do drum rudiments like paradiddles
okay,
across the neck, up and down the neck, just to get my right. And then I'm working my fourth finger in. 1, 2, 3, 4.
well,
And then being able to put that in like, sloppy because I'm not warmed up, but just to be able to get uh, some licks like that.
hmm,
Uh, I don't necessarily use those in songs,
yep,
but it's good to keep my hands sharp and strong. So when I do a simple lick, my hands are solidly on the notes. The timing is right. The length of the note is the correct length. The volume of each note is the correct net.
okay,
So a lot of times the fast playing can help you really make a machine out of your hands. So when you're just playing regular normal bass in a simple song, it has a quality to
sure.
it.
And it's something that you make like as a warm up when you're gonna play on a stage or something like
Yeah.
this, and you got
Yeah.
some exercises.
The tour bus comes in about 12 noon. I get off, I go in the dressing room.
Yeah,
They set up my little amp and I get a coffee and I start to work. Simple. Up and down and up and down and up and down, hour, maybe 2 or 3 hours. Then 3 or 4 o'clock comes. It's a sound check. I go out, make sure everything's working. We're done. Go back to the dressing room, continue to work. Then when I hear the opening act start, that means I better get dressed and get ready. So then I get dressed and ready to go out and do the show.
wow,
And the next day repeat, the next day repeat again, the next day repeat again. So every day I've got several hours in, and then 2 hour like an hour and a half it's a normal show. Sometimes it's 2 hours, sometimes it's less. Uh, of hard playing on stage. It's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
See many players that they got it down. They got it amazing. It's cool. They got on stage and they fall apart because it's a different level of strength,
No.
different level of intensity. So being on stage is super important. You will play differently when you're on stage, and it'll be a surprise to you. You'll try things that you knew and you were great at, and they don't work
No.
on stage. So that was a very important thing. Again, from my early days, we played every single night.
Mm-hmm.
We were only playing live, and that was a huge help to me. So now when I practice, I got to practice really hard sometimes, and I'll
No.
tear my fingers up, holes in my fingers here, my calluses. Now, when I try to type
It doesn't work.
a message, it's always the wrong letter
Okay.
because my calluses are so strong. I
Yeah.
never hit the right thing. It's funny. So yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but I love it, and I can, I'll be sitting around or maybe scrolling on my phone, and I'll stop and say, "What are you doing? Go get your bass and get to work." Huh? Yeah, okay. So I come in here, sit down, and work, and it's really I'm so glad that I have that inside me. Uh, that's been I don't know where it comes from or how I got it, but I've got a real determination to be better and to try to improve. That's why recently in an article I said, I think I suck at bass. And then, of course, the evil internet press made that the headline.
Yeah.
Billy thinks he sucks at bass.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people were saying, yeah, we think he does too. But I
Oh
think I
no.
suck on bass because I'm always up against something I can't do,
Yeah.
trying to learn that. Everything back there, I already did that. I know how to do that. I've kind of forgotten about it, but I'm always up against some new thing that's difficult to do. So I'm always climbing the mountain. I don't, when I get to the top of the mountain, I just go to the next mountain. I don't stay up there. I
Wow.
never think, I think humility is an incredibly important thing. It's got to be real and it's got to be in your heart. Humility is important. Only with humility do you open the door for improvement. If you
Yeah.
think you're awesome or you think you're fabulous, you're probably not.
Yeah. The problem sometimes of the egos, no, in the
Yeah.
big bands and yeah, but it's impressive that after so many years and you still learning, still practicing, and with this passion, is an example for all of us. So we don't have excuse. So we are.
Yeah.
I,
And practicing, and sometimes practicing is kind of an art in
yeah.
itself. What do you practice? When I do my master classes, I'll sit down with another bass player and I'll say to him, "Oh, okay, when you pick up your bass, what do you do?" And they go, "Oh, I'll play scales." They go, "Show me the scales." And they play like it.
Yeah.
I go, "That's not a scale. It's the wrong notes. That's the right notes." So you're practicing patterns, but they're not musical patterns because they're not doing the right thing. And I'll stop them and I'll show, here's what you can practice that will help you understand what you hear, how to play it, how to play with other musicians. And I teach them about the major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And I see revelation. Aha,
So nice.
that, that's what it is. Very, very simple. Of course, I teach them many other things too. I'm not a teacher and I don't know music, so I don't pretend to be an authority, but I know what it takes to get
Yeah.
this in a band to do a song and play the right way. So I try to show that to my fellow bass players. And I always check up with them months later or even years later and say, how did it go after our master class? And everyone says it's a whole different world. It's a whole different thing. They understand something more. It was done to me once too. I had a friend who was a brilliant musician, and I didn't understand what the modes were.
Yeah.
Kept talking about the modes, this and the modes that. I don't know what the modes are. And he explained it and explained it and explained it with great patience. I still didn't know what it was. So I was on stage in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, playing in the middle of a show, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Okay.
see what that is. Because I would wonder why these jazz guitar players could go,
Yeah, yeah,
how do they figure that? They're just, they know
yeah,
how the scales go together and how they work. I said that's simple. It's actually very complex, but the principle is simple.
yeah.
You build it a piece by piece. So anyway, I'm talking too much. Sorry.
Oh no. It was like um, Paco de Lucia, from flamenco guitar player, the best one. The you know Paco de Lucia, the flamenco player.
He's one of my
Yeah,
biggest inspirations.
yeah.
Yeah.
And um, he didn't know about music theory, but he was playing with jazz guitar players like Aldi
Yeah.
Meola or others, and he said that he was playing by ear. He was playing like what he was feeling in his hardware playing, and it sounds like wow. It blew my mind. So sometimes it's something that comes from inside, not from the theory. I think no. When you play with other people and you feel this energy and you feel the music, how it sounds, because you listen a lot of music, for example. I don't know. What do you think about this?
Yeah. Uh, Paco de Lucia was one of my biggest influences. When I was in Spain, we stopped at a little roadside gas station. They were selling cassettes, and I saw Paco, and I got it, and wow, it was amazing. And I knew about him earlier also, but he's a finger style player. So some of the things he does can apply a little bit, not all, but a little bit to bass. But he was just so had a fire inside him that Oscar Peterson had, that Hendrix had,
Yeah.
that fire inside. It was unbelievable. And
Hmm.
I love flamenco music also. Uh, I was a huge fan of the Gypsy Kings.
Yeah.
I know they're not Spanish, but it's kind of a
The,
flamenco.
the rumba,
Beat
flamenco.
Tribe was another band that was another band a few years ago that was very flamenco based. Uh, so yeah, he was a very important musician to me, very very much.
They play like tremolo style, maybe a little bit like your three finger style playing. Is something similar? Could be.
Yeah, he is mostly two, and I see some guys can do two, but my three is much faster, and the four
Yeah.
is faster than that. Fast doesn't really matter. Accurate and musical is what it should be,
Yeah.
but if it's fast, accurate, and musical, that's a good combination.
Yeah.
I think so. So I've, yeah, like I said before about a harp player,
Yeah.
techniques they use that you'll find valuable. A drummer, there's techniques that they do. That's why I do drum rudiments on the pair. When I first started that, I couldn't play it at all.
Okay.
I just said, how am I ever going to do it? And I just worked,
Yeah. Hours and hours.
and then do variations, then across the string. Back and forth. That was a mistake, but just I think anybody is pretty much capable of anything.
Okay.
Work at it.
So you.
I always say to young musicians, anything I do, you can do. It just takes work.
So you don't think or you think that the talent is a little bit of the result and the work is the
Maybe
big
a little.
thing, something like that.
I think a lot of times the real talent is the fact that they love to work.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm agree.
Because it
I'm
takes,
agree.
but there are legitimate, there are people that just hear a note and they instantly know like I know a musician friend of mine. I go like they go A flat.
Yeah.
He knows right away what note it is, and they could just sit down and when they're 7 years old playing, Beethoven and Rachmaninoff and all that. Yeah, there certainly is some built-in abilities.
Hmm.
I think if you work hard enough, I think you can achieve what will make you happy
Yeah. Yeah.
and make your audience happy. I think.
One different question that I have in my mind is, do you feel different energy in different countries when you play? I mean, when you're playing, for example, in USA or in Japan, and you are on a stage, you feel this energy different from the people?
Not incredibly different. There's good nights and bad nights, no matter where you go. Some places are way more enthusiastic. Some people want to sit back and just watch you
Yeah.
and not clap. You know, I've been to some audiences and they weren't responsive at all. And I got done. I go, man, they hated us.
Yeah.
Then after the show, they came up and go, that was the greatest show ever. And I go,
Yeah.
why didn't you clap? Oh, we were just watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny. South America is fabulous. All the audiences across Spain and Italy, Germany, France. We've always had a wonderful time. In the UK, Japan is amazing. And people would say, "Oh, you got to be careful to go to Japan. The audience is very reserved." We went there.
No. Yeah.
Fine. It's great. Uh, one girl, one time in the audience, pulled her shirt up,
Oh.
so her
Yeah.
uh, nobody in the audience saw it because they were all looking at us. It's funny.
Okay. This is
The other guys in the band ran over to my side of the stage and go, "Oh my God!"
how you say
No, nobody in the audience saw her. They were all just watching us.
it?
They are incredible. We love them so much. And the audiences in Spain, particularly, are Spain has a passion for art and music,
Yeah.
like many European countries, but Spain also has its own thing. So they have a real high spirit for Spanish art and music. And when they hear other music, they keep the same spirit.
Yeah.
They like to hear things. So I've always had a wonderful time in Spain. Uh, the food and wine, of course, is
And we
amazing, but
and we love the party here, so I think it's the combination. So,
yeah, it's good.
and you're we're gonna take talk about your bass. You are from working with Yamaha for more than 35 years more.
Yeah,
One
I
of the
think they're
first.
one of their oldest endorsers. I've been
Yeah.
around the longest. Yeah, it's basically my original P bass.
Mm-hmm.
Added a pickup on it,
Yeah.
and those are the Fender style pickup. And I had two outputs on my original bass. So they copied all that, but they did it correctly because I did my P bass, and I'm not a luthier. So I just chiseling and hammering, and so they made these beautiful instruments for me. And a lot of people around the world use them. We have several Facebook pages for the Yamaha Attitude bass.
Yeah.
Uh, this is all I've used since it came out,
Yeah.
except for a few instances where I use like a Yamaha 6 string or a Yamaha fretless bass. But Yamaha has been wonderful to me, and their quality is second to none.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the basses, and other people do too. I was glad that they took all my changes I made to my P bass, did them correctly, and put them in this bass. So it's really a wonderful instrument. It's not cheap because they're made by hand.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're very expensive. I get a slight, small royalty because of my design,
Yeah.
but in a year, it it doesn't add up to very much. That's okay. I didn't do it to make money.
Yeah.
I do make a tiny little royalty, but I never get paid to endorse anything. I don't get paid to endorse this ever,
Okay.
or my amps, or my strings, or my pickups. I don't get paid other than a fee for if I design something.
Okay.
I never get paid. a royalty. Some people think that there's a lot of money when you endorse something,
Yeah.
and maybe for some people, but not for me.
Okay, but this the bass that you played for a long time, and it's a bass made for you with Yamaha. So you designed everything with them. You started
Yeah,
to. I wanted this, and how was the
yeah,
process? Do you remember how was the process to make
yeah. Well,
this bass?
I brought my Fender P bass in,
Yeah. Mhm.
and there was things about it that were I couldn't get up to the high notes because the Fender this part
Yeah.
is up here, so
Hmm.
you can't reach them easier. So I needed a deeper cut, and I wanted the top fret. The Fender only goes to this fret.
Yeah.
It's an E flat,
Hmm.
and up here that's an E. And so many rock songs are in E. It's nice to have that high E there.
Yeah.
Also, pickups and the way they're wired, it was identical to what I did. I took my original P and they measured the neck.
Okay.
This neck is a clone of that, which is from a 1968 Telecaster bass neck, and they're big and fat, a lot of wood. So there's a lot of sustain.
Yeah.
When you hit a note, it lasts forever. And I think the radius is the same. I think it's 14 inches. Also, the last five frets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are smaller fret wire.
Okay.
So it's a sharper point. So when the note is there
Hmm.
on the fret, if it's wide, it could be sharp or flat. So we
Yeah.
made it a little tighter. Uh, and I did the scalloping to help you
Yeah. Okay. For bending.
get your fingers underneath. It helps to get your fingers underneath the string to bend it a little bit. Not essential.
Hmm.
I played a bass with no scalloping for decades. There's no problem. But they wanted to do everything I did to my P bass in this. So we
In
did
this.
the scalloping also. Yeah.
Well,
And
it's,
the D tuner also. So you can, well, that's a tuner.
yeah, to go to,
So you can
yeah,
drop the,
to the,
it helps sometimes you need just a lower note.
okay.
But yeah, they
Because,
did a great job. And this is all I play live all the time. I just did a tour with a new band I have called The Fell.
uh-huh.
And normally I bring several basses. I just brought one. That was it. One bass. Did the whole show, did the whole tour with one bass. No
Wow.
problemo.
And you made always or with four strings, not five strings?
I have a six.
Yeah.
The six right where is it now? At the
Yeah.
end. There
Yeah.
in that's
I
the
can
bass
see it. Mhm.
I used for Just Take My Heart by Mr. Big. That was
Yeah.
a six-string bass.
Okay.
So now I just got a new one, Yamaha, the John Patitucci
Yeah.
bass, which is a work of art. It's so brilliant. And it's big and giant. And the neck is this wide.
Yeah.
So I got it to really work out on that bass. And then when I come back to this,
Yeah.
it's
It's
easy.
very, it's easier to play.
It's like we say sometimes we put ankle weights. You
Yeah.
put a weight on your foot and walk around. And then when you take them off, it's always easier. But it's such a great bass, and John Patitucci is just such a great player. His design is just wonderful. So I'm very thankful and grateful to Yamaha for being so kind to get all these incredible instruments from them. They're just wonderful.
Wow. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna make you one last question that is
Okay.
I make to every guest, and it's a request. If you can give me some band names that you like to listen to all my audience, know new bands or new artists that maybe didn't know, and you can, no, I don't know, you can recommend to us.
Well, it's since I'm an old man, it's a long list because I started listening before the Beatles.
Yo.
I listened to a band called Joey D and the Starlighters out of New York City, and they played the Peppermint Twist was their hit in the 50s. Now, Hendrix played in that band.
Oh,
I didn't know at the time. He
wow.
was in that band before he became famous. I just met Joey D's son online and talked to Joey D himself on the phone. He's very old now. Wonderful guy, but that was one of my very first bands I listened to. Then the Yardbirds were a
Yeah.
huge influence on me.
Mhm.
Now they had Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, and Jimmy Page play guitar, but they had a bass player named Paul Samwell Smith who was just great. A big influence. The next big influence to me was the Vanilla Fudge, Tim Bogert on bass. Then, of course, a huge influence is the Beatles. I saw them on TV, and that's what I wanted to do. I saw the girls screaming, and I said, "I want that job."
Yeah. Okay.
So, and but there's hundreds of bands.
Yeah.
Uh, Early Jethro Tull, uh,
And something
everything
something
by Hendrix.
something new that you are listening to, or that
Something
you have
new that I'm into.
recent
Wow,
discovered. I don't know.
Eric Gales,
Whoa, I love it.
Eric Gale.
I love it.
Wow, I
Yeah.
just did a show with him, and holy cow, amazing! He is really great. He sings his ass off too. He's a great singer, but he's just got a way that he plays
Yeah.
that is like nobody else.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really love it. And other than that, I think Wolf Van Halen is a great band.
Oh.
Mammoth, really good. I love the fact that he didn't just do what his dad did.
Mhm.
He started to do a new thing. And I think he's just a brilliant young player. And I'm the only guy that played with every member of Van Halen. And now it includes Wolfie too, because when he was a little kid,
Yeah.
I went to do a show with Ed Van Halen in Chicago. And we flew home, and Wolfie flew with us. So it was a private jet. So it was just me, Ed, and Wolfie. And Ed wanted to sleep. So I took Wolfie and I got a pen and some paper, and he was a little kid. And we drew, animals and made had funny things and just
Wow.
so Ed could sleep. So I played with him, not music, but I played with it.
I played. Okay.
And Dave and Michael and Al and Ed and Sammy. So I've played with everybody that ever played with Van Halen.
Wow.
Yeah, Wolfie I'm very impressed. I love his music, and I think he's gonna do very well for himself. He seems like a very nice person, growing into a wonderful young man. That's very cool.
Wow. Cool. Cool. And are you now with a new tour or something that you're gonna make with, I don't know with which band, but because you have so
We have
many projects.
a band called The Fell.
Yeah.
Posted about it. Uh, Toby Rand from Australia, great singer. Mike Crumpus from Smash Mouth. Our drummer Nick is from Toronto. He's a great drummer. And we got songs. We got songs. That's the best thing about it. The band was born from the songs.
Yeah.
The guitar player called me. I didn't know him. He said, "Hey, you want to come over and play bass on some songs of mine?" I go, "Sure." So I drove over to his studio. "Hi, nice to meet you." So I played bass on these songs. And I go, who wrote these songs? He goes, "Oh, we did." "Who's that singer?" "Oh, it's Toby." It was amazing. So I got done with the session. He goes, "I can pay you for the session, or if you want to be a part of this, maybe we can do a record with these songs." So I said, "Yeah, absolutely."
Wow.
So that was a long time ago. We had a couple of things that some contracts that prevented us from playing together for a little while. But now that's all done. So we went out and did a tour in the USA, just a couple of shows. We had a riot. People loved it. And the songs are just righteous, really just great songs. So we'll be in the UK at the end of the summer.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully we'll go from there and do some shows in Europe. And I hope I get to Spain.
Well, if you come here, I'm gonna be there for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. You're invited.
Yeah. So, thank you very much. I don't wanna bother you more. And yeah, so
Pleasure.
it was an honor to have you here. I'm a
My pleasure.
big fan, and yeah, I hope we learn a lot of things from you, as always. And if you want to say something to end this episode from Afinados for all the audience, it's all to you. And thanks for being here with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. And thanks for the opportunity to speak to my friends in Spain. Every time I play there, it's a wonderful experience. Incredible fans. All of them that have been, I always go out after the show and say hello. And they're just so wonderful and kind. And I hope I get back there very, very soon.
Thank you. See you soon. I hope to see you soon. And yeah,
Okay.
para vosotros, muchas gracias. Ha sido un placer tener con nosotros a Billy Sheehan en Afinados.
Gracias. All right. Thank you.